Of 2000 Today is brought to you by Via Rail Canada. People moving people. Michael Flatley is going out in a blaze of glory. The Lord of the Dance in a spectacular non-stop special. A show not to be missed. Feet of Flames, Sunday, January 9th on CBC. Always a favorite with television audiences everywhere. North America's premier annual skating extravaganza returns on CBC. Canadian and Olympic world champions strut their stuff with a dazzling showcase of skating excellence. The fun begins with all your favorite skaters in Chrysler's Stars on Ice, Sunday, January 9th on CBC.
To me, the most significant Canadian event was the Oka crisis. Prior to the Oka crisis, Aboriginal people were completely invisible in society. But when the Oka crisis occurred, society and the government as a whole realized that we existed, that we had rights, that we were not going to go away, and that this was our country, and something had to be done to improve the lives of Aboriginal people. As a result, more advancements have taken place since the Oka crisis for Aboriginal people than ever before.
Newfoundland is in 2000. The rest of Canada now awaits it, especially in Atlantic Canada, where they're just 22 minutes away. We're going in a moment to Sydney and Cape Breton, where the Barra McNeils are performing.
Yes, the Barra McNeils are actually from Sydney Mines. They're four siblings who all studied at Mount Allison, which is a great university.
Great university. I love it.
And you're going to love the harmonies. You're going to love the music from these people. Now, they put out 3 independent albums in the 80s. Really before the whole Celtic thing took off. And then timing was really instrumental for them. And then now it's been folk festivals all over Europe, all across the country. They've done really, really well. And I like them because sometimes, Peter, Celtic music can get a little precious. It doesn't with the Barra McNeils. I think they're wonderful.
Listen. Here they are, the Barra McNeils in Sydney, Nova Scotia, live.
Wait, now what's that?
Happy New Year.
From Sydney to Ottawa, here's the Prime Minister's address to the nation.
Happy New Year, buddy. Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year. David! Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Begun for Canada. The people of Newfoundland and Labrador made our Canadian family complete in the 20th century. And tonight, they are showing us the way into the 21st century. And Canada is very well prepared for success in this new century. Canada is a great success story. Our writers, our poets, our artists, our athletes, our scientists, our teachers, our peacekeepers, the talent of Canadians and the values of Canadians are renowned in the world over. Canada is a prosperous modern country, a nation of freedom and social justice, a country of 2 official languages, of immigrants from around the globe, of First Nations, of strong provinces, but above all, of proud Canadians. Un pays dont
a country
l'esprit de solidarité
with the spirit of solidarity that is inscribed in its difficult origins.
un pays du Nord.
We are a country
Où
of the
l'hiver
North.
et le froid ont forgé cet
Winter,
esprit d'entraide
the cold,
qui caractérise notre
has brought
peuple.
us together in a sense of mutual
Fait un
aid.
peu de tous les
A
peuples
people
de la terre.
made up of all the peoples of the
démocratie
world. A
qui
great
place le
democracy
respect des
that
différences
places the respect
et la
of
recherche du
differences
compromis
and the
au
search
cœur de
of
sa vie
compromise
collective.
in the very heart
Or, ce pays
of
qui est
its
le nôtre,
democracy. Our
n'oublions
country.
jamais que nous le
Never
devons
forget
au travail acharné
that
de
it is
tous ceux et
thanks
celles
to the hard
qui l'ont
work,
bâti
the hard labor
patiemment,
of all those who
un jour
patiently
à la fois,
built
une
this
année à
country,
la fois.
little by little,
grâce aux
year after
générations
year. It
précédentes
is
de
thanks to
Canadiens
past
que nous
generations of
pouvons
Canadians
aujourd'hui
that today
envisager
we
notre
can
avenir
look
avec
to the
autant
future
d'optimisme
with so
et
much
d'enthousiasme.
optimism, with so much
Ils nous ont légué
enthusiasm.
un rêve
They have
exigeant
left
et
to
une
us a
immense
demanding dream,
responsabilité,
a
celle
vast
de donner
responsibility,
un sens à
that
leur
of giving
travail
a
acharné
meaning to their
mériter
hard
à
labor.
notre tour
We need,
ce pays
in our turn, to be
extraordinaire
worthy of this
qui
extraordinary country
réussit généralement
that
tout.
generally succeeds in doing everything it
Ce
tries to do.
Canada,
This
des
country,
millions de
this
gens à
Canada,
travers le monde
millions of
donneraient
people
tout ce qu'ils ont
across the country would give
pour venir
everything
le
they
partager
have
avec
to
nous.
come and share it with us.
We Canadians are one of the most privileged people in the world, and we start off the year 2000 with all the means at our disposal to build an even brighter future. There is boundless opportunity in Canada for ourselves and for generations to come. So, let's welcome the year 2000 and a future where anything is possible. On behalf On behalf of my wife Aline and my whole family, I wish everyone a happy year 2000. Thank you very much et vive le Canada!
The Prime Minister and Madame Chrétien. And their official message to the country on the fact that the year 2000 has arrived on our shores in Newfoundland and will be in the rest of Atlantic Canada in another 13 and a half minutes. That was live from Ottawa, and we'll be going back to Ottawa later in our next hour as the year 2000 arrives in Ontario and Quebec. But first up, of course, the excitement in the rest of Atlantic Canada. We're going to take one last break before all that happens. And before we do, we just want to give you a sense of the party that's shaping up here in the atrium at the Broadcast Centre in Toronto, and wondering who these people are and why are they here tonight to take part in our party. Well, there are a lot of people working at the CBC, both in the radio and television, French and English here in the Toronto headquarters, and we wanted to give them an opportunity to share tonight with their families as well. And many of them have come down this evening to be close to their husbands and wives, fathers, mothers who are working here tonight and over the next many hours. And so we welcome them here to the CBC, and we thank them for being part of our program. So we're going to take a short break. 2000 Today, right here on CBC Television, continues in just a moment.
I would include the major instruments of the development of human rights in all of human history. I'd start with Hammurabi's Code. I'd include the Magna Carta, the American Declaration of Independence, and interestingly, I would conclude with the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
I'm as fickle as the next person, but I'm taking the human ability to be faithful to one partner, one faith, one cause.
Something really to remind us just not to take ourselves so seriously. Maybe like, well, a pair of these from 1978.
"2000 Today" is presented in part by Via Rail Canada. Quality service, pride, integrity. Just some of the things reflected in the faces of our dedicated employees from coast to coast.
Is it the adventure, the excitement of train travel that makes many of us become children again? Is it that within us lives a purpose to one day soon rediscover this great country? Are you ready?
There's a lot to be said for clarity in life and in finances. Clarica, investment and insurance solutions.
Wednesday, an accidental death may hide a family's darkest secrets.
Nothing else could have done this?
The child injuries show very specific evidence of shaking.
But what's the parents? I don't want to take any chances.
Da Vinci's Inquest, Wednesday at 9 on CBC. An all-new movie.
Your brother is getting desperate.
You're under investigation for a murder.
Upholding the law.
We're either working together or not.
Protecting a family.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
Trial by Fire, January 16th on CBC.
After Halifax, they took a train right across the country to the Northwest Territories. And this was the city of Edmonton, which was then in the Northwest Territories. So that the family followed the pattern of many families, Ukrainian families of the prairies, that they went in search of better work, better pay. And as a result, I have lived in 3 or 4 provinces of Canada for quite a considerable amount of time.
8.5 minutes to midnight in the Maritimes. We're going to go to Charlottetown again. Lenny Gallant performing. Tell us about Lenny Gallant.
PEI boy from Rustico. He's got 4 CDs and buckets of East Coast Music Awards and also songwriting awards. And he is a very, very intelligent, good songsmith. A lot of people might want to be tempted to put him in a pigeonhole of a kind of working man's songsmith. He's written about the Sydney Steel layoffs, or he's a song called Peter's Dream. Only it's about the death of the fisheries. Oh, okay. It's not quite so connected to
other Peter.
Another Peter. But he's going to do another song called Lifeline, and he is a huge favorite, not just, of course, in PEI, but all through the East Coast and the rest of Canada.
All right, Lenny Gallant performing in Charlottetown, Lifelines.
Lose our grip and we fall, trying to climb over this wall made of anger and guilt. A high barrier we build. Place your foot on my back. It may be the height you like. If you make it outside, would you come back and be my guide? Only love will guide us through this time. As long as there's one flame, we have a lifeline. Only love will guide us through this time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see him stumble in the dark, trying to buy a little spark and drive it into the vein. For a moment, kill the pain. Where's my job? Where's my car? Where's my love? Where's the bar? We all search for escape. Is it from my fear of faith? Only love will guide us through this time. As long as there's one flame, we have a lifeline. Only love will guide us through this time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So much anger and hate, we put on so much weight and we drag it around. Start to nurture every pound. Bigger fight, bigger war, bigger race, settle a score. Rodney King, sing your song. Why can't we just get along? Only love will guide us through this time. As long as there's one flame, we have a lifeline. Only love will guide us through this time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Only love will guide us through this time. As long as there's one flame, we have a lifeline. Only love will guide us through this time. As long as there's one flame burning, we have a lifeline. Only love will guide us through this time. As long as there's one flame, we have a lifeline. Only love will guide us through this time. As long as there's one flame burning, we have a lifeline. Only love will guide us through this time. As long as there's one flame, we have a lifeline. Only love will guide us through this time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Only love got us home. Only love, only love will guide us home. Will guide us home.
And a wonderful performance by Lenny Gallant in Charlottetown tonight.
Great guitars.
Great guitars. 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes now until the year 2000, until midnight in all of Atlantic Canada now as the 3 maritime provinces join in. Let's quickly check in with Colleen Jones, who's on that trail. Furrow, how'd it go?
Oh, it went great, actually.
were, earlier live on the train, we were doing our part.
Much more fun.
Yeah, I don't know if they, more fun than this. You can't get more fun than this.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but anyhow, we did have a ball on the Via train, and we're waiting for what? We've got another 3 or 4 minutes before we say Happy New Year. We don't want to go too early. And also, Peter, some big fireworks are coming here as well. In addition to and then I put that, they're huge. And I'll put this on too.
I think it's your color.
Exactly. Anyhow, Peter, we'll be back for fireworks and we'll talk from the train.
All right, Colleen Jones on board.
Almost.
On board via Train 68 in Truro, Nova Scotia. They're getting ready. Less than 3 minutes. Let's go to St. John, New Brunswick now, where Jeff Britt is standing by. Jeff, are they getting ready? I think I know why Jeff's not paying attention.
Everybody excited. Happy New Year! I'm here with my lovely wife, waiting to ring in the millennium.
Jeff's got the tough assignment tonight.
Won't be long now.
Well, those Happy New Year hats were a big seller in the Maritimes.
They look like beauty queens.
They do look like beauty queens. And perhaps they are beauty queens. That's perhaps why Jeff's not talking too much. He's just having such a great time. Well, get ready, Jeff. You got 2 minutes to go here.
There's nothing more I can say. Happy New Year.
Yeah, well, as they say, a picture tells 1,000 words. And so they're ready all across the Maritimes now, in Nova Scotia, in Prince Edward Island, and in St. John, New Brunswick. And we're going to watch all 3 locations now at the same time as they go through these final seconds, the final countdowns, the various stages.
What? You had a message here. You were talking. What do you have to say about what life like?
The Barra McNeil's on stage in Sydney, Nova Scotia, up in Cape Breton. That's Province House in Charlottetown, the birthplace of our nation. That's where the Confederation deal was struck in 1867. And in St. John, New Brunswick, well, what can we say about Jeff Britt and all those beautiful women standing with him ready to celebrate?
I wish we had a camera at my sister's house in Halifax. I'd like to see that too, please. Happy New Year, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, could you just kind of
final
push back
minute
a bit from the stage, because you are crowding the official party here and the balloons. Just don't push this way. If anything, head to the harbor.
And we're going to get the final count. Listen to this from a 103-year-old woman in Charlottetown who's on the stage in that bottom picture. She's going to do the final countdown. A remarkable life. She's already lived now through 3 different centuries after another 33 seconds.
That's all she's got.
She wants to wait until then before she can proudly make that claim. A growing number of centenarians in this country who are going to be able to make that claim in less than 20 seconds now. Let's listen for the count from Charlottetown.
Here we go, folks. Help us out, Nora. 10, 9, 8.
There's Nora Wanacott.
4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Canadian provinces now into the year 2000, watching in Sydney, Nova Scotia, and Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, and in St. John, New Brunswick. The Barra McNeils there in Sydney.
They showed the Newfoundlanders a thing or two, I think.
They did show. They certainly did. You know, it's interesting. That's Old Lang Syne we've heard sung twice now. And through all these other hours of broadcasting today, we've seen these incredible fireworks displays in different parts of the world. This is the only 2 times I've heard Old Lang Syne. So maybe it's a North American thing. I don't think so, but tonight it's a North American thing.
You heard Ricky Martin, I think, in the Philippines, was it? That must be a New Year's tradition now.
Yeah. that wonderful New Year's tradition. Johnny Favorite in St. John, New Brunswick. And Jonathan Torrance in Charlottetown. We just lost him there, but we'll get back to him in a minute.
This is a great New Year's Eve band playing everything from Woody Herman to Duke Ellington, all the great big swing songs, swing writers, band leaders.
Okay, let's go to Charlottetown. Jonathan Torrance, tell us about it.
Peter, you said no problems have been reported. There is one here. We have officially broken the fun barrier. We are having a blast here, and it all makes sense that 103-year-old Nora Wanacott would count it down. It all starts again where it once began, the birthplace of the country, Charlottetown, PEI.
All right, Jonathan. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing you didn't break that kissing record you told me they were going to break in PEI.
I had nothing to do with that, but like I said, not just about potatoes and Anne of Green Gables anymore. We're showing the whole world another side of PEI.
Yep, you sure are. Jonathan Torrance from Charlottetown tonight. Okay, Laura, we got to go back to Colleen Jones. See what happened on that train at midnight.
What's happening on the train is champagne now. That's what's happening on the champagne. It's been a little bit of champagne. Ian James, I have to thank you for coming on board.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Wonderful musical talent as well. And it was a really neat way to usher in the new millennium, to be on board the train, something that, of course, 100 years ago was still rather novel concept of getting around the country. But anyhow, we've had a great time here on the Millennium Train, and we'd love to do it again. Everybody wants to say Happy New Year now.
Ian, take that bottle, do it. Don't stop.
Okay, see you later. We gotta go. I'm winning this one, Ian.
Colleen Jones and Ian James. We'll probably tell you what happened there a little later on.
She got hers there.
She did get hers, and she was cruising for that bruising. Here's Laurie Graham in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Laurie, take it away.
Hi, Peter! We're having a wonderful time here in Sydney, Nova Scotia, bringing in the new year, the new millennium, celebrating with the Barra McNeils, and everyone here. Are we having fun? I'm having trouble hearing, Peter, but I know we're having a fabulous time here in the crowd in Sydney, listening to the wonderful music and bringing in the new year. Happy New Year!
And Happy New Year to you and the rest of Atlantic Canada. Let's go over to St. John, New Brunswick. Jeff Britt, let's see whether Jeff can talk to us this time. There he is.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jeff. That's quite the scene there.
Happy New Year, everybody. I'm so happy I'm able to share it with my wife, Denise, tonight. St. John celebrated this twice earlier tonight on the Harbor Bridge. It was a great family affair with kids out and enjoyed the fireworks. We saw so many fireworks tonight on this broadcast, but I got to tell you have to see them live. And anyways, it's been a terrific night here in St. John. First of all, the Harbor Bridge Walk, and this terrific evening with Johnny Favorite. The year 2000 has arrived, and we've welcomed it in grand style here in St. John.
Well, you sure have. You sure have, Jeff. It's great to have been having you with us on the program tonight. Jeff Britt in St. John, New Brunswick. Atlantic Canada has done it up in big style, as Jeff says, from Newfoundland through the 3 maritime provinces. The year 2000 has arrived in Canada. A lot more still to come, though, Laurie, as it marches into central Canada.
The pressure is on for everybody to look as if they're having as much fun as they are in St. John, that's for sure.
And we're going to start telling you about the great Central Canadian story coming up shortly. But right now, we're going to take this short break. We'll be right back with 2000 Today.
realistically, a lot of people might not think this, but growing up, I think Pierre Trudeau influenced me a lot. I watched a lot of his politics as I was growing up as a young kid, and to this day, I still think he's probably been one of the most influential prime ministers that we've ever had in this country.
General Motors of Canada and all its divisions welcome the Maritimes into a new millennium and wish all of you a happy and prosperous new year.
Right now, the Sunfire Coupe comes with ABS brakes, a 6-speaker CB stereo, and a new 5-speed Getrag transmission, which makes changing gears really smooth. The Pontiac Sunfire 2000 value package. A ton of extra features, $188 a month or 1.9% purchase financing. Pontiac Sunfire, built for drivers.
At Via Rail, we know Canadian communities. Our 3,000 employees who live and work all across Canada are proud to provide quality service to some 450 of these communities every day, every week, all year long.
It's not what the world holds for you, it's what you bring to it.
CBC welcomes in the new year with the return of a timeless classic.
You're going to be famous, and I'll be so proud.
I'll miss my girl. Promise me you won't stay away forever.
Join us for the heartwarming story of Anne of Green Gables, the sequel.
I will never forget you.
Bye, Anne.
A 2-part special begins Sunday night at 8 on CBC.
For me, it was the birth of my children because they improved my life so much, and because as an artist they make a wonderful subject matter, for instance, Madonna and Child.
And welcome back to our 2000 Today live coverage of the arrival of the year 2000. It's already in 4 Canadian provinces, about to be in 2 more coming up in the next hour, in the next 50 minutes here in Ontario and Quebec.
We almost got 1 foot in it, I guess, is what you could say at this point.
We're close. And we're behind our Atlantic Canadian brothers and sisters, but we are close. We're about to join you and the rest of Canada hour after that. Lots to go yet in our coverage across this country. Now, we want you to take part in our program today by, if you have access to the internet, get to it at www.cbc.ca. Make your choices clear. Rex Murphy is tabulating them on various Canadian moments of the century, whether it's the person of the century, the comedian of the century, the politician, the event of the century. Rex is still plugging away for Joey Smallwood.
Please send him an email about that.
Give Joey Smallwood a few more votes there, and we'll get him on the board. So we'll be monitoring that and reporting on that as the evening progresses. Now, we do want to keep in mind that there are lots of other places in our hemisphere about to celebrate the millennium as well, or already have. And we're going to take a quick look at that now through our coverage from other parts of this hemisphere. The United States, obviously, will be going there at a number of times over the next few hours for live concert performances. Barbra Streisand in Las Vegas, Neil Diamond, Elton John, and others. But also, there are other areas to keep in mind. And we're going to roll some video from some of the other areas. Here we go in the Caribbean tonight. Eddie Grant performing there.
2, 1. Nice to see him again. I haven't seen him. He gave us some great hits in the 80s with Romancing the Stone, and also that Electric Avenue was probably his biggest hit.
Parts of the Caribbean already celebrating now as the clock ticked over at the same time as Atlantic Canada did. Here in Venezuela, midnight has reached there in South America. This event will show the traditional Venezuelan celebrations. I don't know how you can be traditional about the turning of a millennium. It's only happened once before.
We're setting tradition.
We're setting tradition is right. Anyway, so now where are we going to go? Jeanette Renaud. We're going to go live for a Jeanette Renaud performance.
This is an excellent thing. Probably one of the most well-loved performers from Quebec. Over 40 albums. I can't even imagine how many buckets of awards that she's got. But she isn't just simply a great singer. She's also been in quite a few movies. Liolo, Jean-Claude Lauzon's film, and she also did a wonderful star turn in the film adaptation of Michel Tremblay's his play, and it's called It's Your Turn, Laura Cadieux. She's done a wonderful role as that. So she really has developed into not even a double threat. She's now a triple threat. She's just put out an album this past year in English, and she's trying to make that crossover into the English market as well. So move over, Celine Dion.
Right, and you know, she's had a dynamic and lengthy career already, because I can remember late 60s listening to Jeanette Renaud records.
And she holds many records from some of those hits she had in the 60s until Celine Dion came along.
All right, here, let's go live to Montreal. Performance from Jeanette Renaud.
J'appelle ma vie, ma jouissance, mon cri et ma douleur. Tu me donnes envie de croire au bonheur aujourd'hui, plus fort que jamais encore. Personne ne m'y a fait croire. Ton amour pour moi me donne foi en l'avenir du monde. L'hymne à l'amour de l'an 2000, je veux le chanter pour ceux qui s'aimeront longtemps après nous, dans les siècles à venir, en leur souhaitant qu'ils s'aiment autant que nous. L'hymne à l'amour de l'an 2000, c'est notre histoire à nous deux, notre chanson. C'est le testament qu'il nous fallait écrire comme un bilan de 2000 ans d'amour. 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 Vous qui vivrez demain dans des corps si forts et si parfaits, aurez-vous encore un cœur pour aimer? Rirez-vous devant nos films, nos romans? Serez-vous si loin de nos sentiments, nous qui ne savions pas
with Jeanette Renault. I stand corrected. It wasn't live. That was on tape. But still fabulous.
Doesn't matter.
No, it sure doesn't. Now, you know, we talked about all the areas that are already into the year 2000. We've missed one spot. We want to show you what it was like on tape.
We can't go back.
19 minutes ago, Goose Bay, Labrador.
Oh, all right.
This is what it looked like as the new year was welcomed in Goose Bay.
It's hard to sing.
Has arrived in Labrador to that great tradition of wasting away in Margaritaville.
Another new millennial tradition going down in
I don't
Labrador.
blame them singing that in Goose Bay. It's cooled up there this time of year. We want to give you a sense of what to expect the next 39 minutes as we're into central Canada. Coming up, we're going to take a break and then a short newscast, but when we come back, we've got lots of action. We've got Tragically Hip live from the Air Canada Centre in Toronto.
Most coveted ticket, I would say, in Toronto.
Blue Rodeo from Bala in southern Ontario. And the Macaulays coming out of Windsor. So we've got lots, and we're going to hip-hop-scotch around southern Ontario. We had that look in Montreal. We unfortunately can't get live into too many places in Quebec this year other than pointing cameras across the Ottawa River from Ottawa because of a strike that's taken up some of our technical friends in Quebec. So unfortunate about that. We've got lots of coverage in Ontario coming up as the 2000 Today show continues right here on CBC.
Marshall McLuhan, who predicted the coming of the internet age we are now in when he described the world as a global village over 30 years ago.
"2000 Today, a CBC Millennium celebration, is brought to you in part by Clarica, because in life, as in finances, there's a lot to be said for clarity.
Yeah, the special tonight is an herb supreme. Capsicum, sage thyme, stuffed with duxelle, lying on animaux chimé le besame pelacé with noisette spatule.
Wow. What is that?
Excuse me, it's chicken.
There's a lot to be said for clarity in life and in finances. Clarica, investment and insurance solutions.
Closed captioning of 2000 Today is brought to you by Pontiac. Pontiac, built for drivers. Wednesday at 9.
I've got a 3-year-old boy who came in DOA.
What seems like an accidental death
Doctor thinks he died of a fall.
hides a family's darkest secret.
Nothing else could have done this?
The child's injuries show very specific evidence of shaking.
What do you mean, shook him? Shook him how?
This interview is over.
It's up to Da Vinci to ask the tough questions.
There's no indication of ongoing abuse.
If it was the parents, I don't want to take any chances.
We've told you what happened.
I don't think you really know what happened.
Da Vinci's Inquest, Wednesday at 9 on CBC. The pace is quicker. The games are tougher. Athletes pushing the limits of endurance. Feel the excitement this January on CBC Sports Saturday. Alwyn Morris was proud and determined, and he beat the odds.
You can never quit on something you believe strongly in.
The Olympians, a century of Canadian heroes, Tuesday at 7 on CBC.
I'd have to say it was the birth of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms in 1982.
This ensured that all Canadians had equal rights and confirmed our status as one of the world's greatest countries to live in, regardless of who you are or what you believe.
Minutes to midnight in central Canada, and as we count down to midnight here in central Canada, we want to take a brief pause to tell you about a couple of other stories we're following. A Winnipeg woman is among 155 former hostages who are celebrating in India tonight. They were prisoners on a plane in Afghanistan for a week, finally freed this morning after India gave in to some of the hijackers' demands. And a stunning announcement from Russian President Boris Yeltsin today. He has resigned effective immediately. And Prime Minister Vladimir Putin is now in charge. Presidential elections will be held in March. But of course, the story the whole world is watching is the historic switch to the year 2000. It has already happened all across Atlantic Canada. And so far, as Eric Sorensen reports, the Millennium Bug is nowhere to be seen.
It's arrived. The year 2000 reached the shores of Newfoundland, kicking off 6 time zones of midnight celebrations across Canada. A half hour later, the rest of Atlantic Canada also said goodbye to the 20th century. Other celebrations across Canada are still building momentum.
Let's welcome the year 2000 and a future where anything is possible.
A couple of blocks away from the events on Parliament Hill, it's all business at National Defence Headquarters, the government's Y2K command centre. And so far, so good. Officials confident the lights will stay on.
The odds are greater that interruption will result from inclement weather, accident, or all kind of non-related Y2K failure.
The almost total absence of serious Y2K problems around the world and in eastern Canada so far has left federal officials even more confident that Canada will roll over into the year 2000 relatively problem-free. Eric Sorensen, CBC News, Ottawa.
The clocks and the computers have already rolled over to 2000 in much of the rest of the world, and what a show it's been. Darryl McIntyre wraps up the celebrations so far.
They were the first humans to greet the year 2000, and the people of Kiribati did it in style, with a traditional dance and a ceremony of peace.
My dear child, take this torch of peace and hope from Kiribati.
Every hour that followed saw millennium greetings that were at least as interesting, like this one in Indonesia. China got into the spirit, even though people there follow a completely different calendar and are actually about halfway through their 5th millennium. Even some Western countries put on shows that were out of the ordinary, like Sweden, where musicians greeted the new year playing ice instruments inside an ice arena. But in most of Europe, this was how they greeted the year 2000, with pyrotechnic displays unrivaled by any other New Year. And now, as Millennium New Year bashes move across the world, the Millennium Dawn events are already well underway. Darryl McIntyre, CBC News.
All right, well, that's the news. Now, let's take a little walk. We want to check out our website, www.cbc.ca. Rex Murphy has been tabulating your thoughts and your votes for various Canadians of the century. What have you got for us?
Well, Peter, I have evidence that the new millennium may be darker than we thought. When I last talked to you, Pierre Trudeau was way in advance, number one.
We were going to declare him the winner.
For the great politician. No, he still is.
Okay.
But at the very bottom of the list, and at 3%, was Brian Mulroney. Mr. Mulroney, since that, has leaped to 19% and second place. This is a threatening position for some people, at least. In other categories, since this morning, things have changed rather drastically in music. It is now absolute tight race between Gordon Lightfoot and Celine Dion as the internet choice of the illustrious musicians of this particular period.
Right.
Gretzky, no surprise at all, still top pole, but Kurt Browning is doing something of a struggle to keep second place. He's at 29 to Gretzky's 35, which is a considerable shift.
Look who he's ahead of, though. Bobby Orr, Gilles Villeneuve, the Rocket.
The Rocket, I'm very pleased just that the Rocket is on there, because somehow or other, I think previous to 1950, the action was there. People's memories seem to slip on it. One thing that stands out in the writers category, affection for the book. is a very, very strong thing. Lucy Maud Montgomery remains unchallenged throughout the night, and Farley Mowat, for the great vast range of his works, is the people's favorite at number 17. In the comedian category, our guests here tonight, the Air Farce lads, 16%, second place, very, very healthy. But Wayne and Schuster, I think it's longevity and veneration, there they are at 18%. In the top event of the century as it affects Canada, that's an easy one. World War II, still predominant. Then we have post-war immigration, and we have also, World War immigration and the safety net. And finally, my own private email campaign to resuscitate Mr. Smallwood, that's still vigorous.
It's still vigorous,
it's still vigorous,
but it's not showing on the board yet.
After the Signal Hill demonstration there tonight, we expect a flood.
Now listen, did I hear you correctly saying there's been more than 100,000 hits on our website?
Oh, no,
today?
there's been at least hundreds of thousands of visits.
Hundreds of thousands.
Of visits to the page site, hundreds of thousands. The traffic in voting, just the voting alone, has seized up these machines within this building for most of the day. We're waiting now for updated results for about the last hour.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to get them, and you can still get on. Log on at www.cbc.ca, and let's hear your vote, your thoughts. We're going to take a short break here on 2000 Today, coming back with lots more live coverage, the Tragically Hip, Blue Rodeo, all coming up in the next half hour.
Train and going across the countryside and looking out and seeing what appeared to be a vast landscape with lots and lots of lush vegetation, even though much of it was, yellow and red and falling off the trees. Very different from the landscape that I had grown up in Greece. And I was kind of grateful that we didn't get off in New York, waited another stop, that we landed in Canada.